Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chrisley knows best. The real reason Lindsie gave up Chrisley is finally revealed. Chrisley knows best fans have prompted Chrisley to reveal her reason for ditching her family's surname. She was walking away silently, without explaining the motive behind the name change. But she was caught off guard when everyone asked her if she had married her boyfriend, David, for taking up his last name. Lindsie is a single mother to a son named Jackson, whom she had with Will. When her marriage reached a breaking point in 2021, she filed for divorce. She fled with him to have a secret marriage that hurt her dad, Todd, a lot. For over a decade, they didn't keep in touch, but the separation ultimately led to them becoming on good terms. She herself distanced herself again during her parents' imprisonment. Chrisley knows best. Lindsie's name change didn't shock her family. With Chrisley's shocking name change, her family didn't completely land in a cold fight with her. As much as the new name of her stunned her fans, they aren't bothered by her act. An insider told US Weekly exclusively that they didn't have a real relationship with the former reality star for a long time. Hence, the timing of Lindvie's decision is quite calculative rather than sincere. For the family, she has brought them immense pain over the years, and the distance between them has now created peace. The source confirmed that the space is indeed the most healthy. If her move seems like she can control or see, the family is happy for her. It appears that the current situation doesn't hold out hope for their reunion. Chrisley knows best. Lindsie explains her bold move of saying goodbye to the Chrisley name. Many fans of Chrisley have checked her Instagram profile by now, noticing how different her username is from her birth name. A few days ago, she appeared on her Southern Tea podcast to discuss her transition from Chrisley to Lindsie Landsman. She adopted David Landsman's last name because he recommended it to her. More unusual stunts Lindsie and David pulled off after the name change include their beach photo shoot, which Jackson also attended. If anyone thinks she is a married woman, it's not true. She clarified that they have only formed a strong relationship and that she knows many people recognize her by her maiden surname. Lindsie carried the challenges of coming from Chrisley's house over the years. Throughout her reality TV career, she shared screens with Todd and stepmom Julie. However, aside from the Chrisley Knows Best project, she ended up with nothing in her hands. The growing up Chrisley alum couldn't have offers from elsewhere, adding to many business losses. Even Lindsie has been asked to go by another name since she made no income beyond her last job. While she used to be Lindsie Campbell, with the divorce, she naturally returned to her old Chrisley name. As she felt no longer attached to the Chrisley name, she made the decision to step up to her future. Stay tuned to TV season and spoilers for further updates. For years, viewers of Chrisley Knows Best watched Lindsie Chrisley navigate the wild world of her high-profile family, from tearful confessions to tense confrontations with her father, Todd Chrisley. But when she legally dropped the last name Chrisley from her identity, fans were left shocked, curious, and searching for answers. Now, in a bombshell revelation that combines heartbreak, healing, and hidden truths, the real reason Lindsie walked away from the Chrisley name is finally out. And it has little to do with fame or family feuds, and everything to do with reclaiming herself. A name tainted by scandal. In a candid sit-down interview for a new docuseries titled Unscripted, The Aftermath of Reality, Lindsie opened up about the emotional weight she carried long before the cameras started rolling on Chrisley Knows Best. Wearing a soft blue sweater and minimal makeup, Lindsie's voice trembled as she admitted, "It wasn't about turning my back on my family, it was about turning toward myself." She spoke about growing up in a household that felt more like a stage than a sanctuary. We were taught that image was everything, that perfection sells, that if it looks good on Instagram, it must be good in real life. But behind closed doors, I was unraveling. The scandals surrounding Todd and Julie Chrisley's conviction for tax fraud and bank fraud were the final straw, but not the first blow. When the indictments came down, people looked at me differently. I couldn't even check out at the grocery store without someone whispering behind me or snapping a photo. That name became a magnet. Lindsie revealed something no one saw coming, not even her longtime fans or her podcast listeners. When I was in my early 20s, I was involved in a very emotionally abusive relationship, she said quietly. One of the things that person would always throw at me was, "You're nothing without your last name. You're a Chrisley. That's all you'll ever be." And I believed him. Lindsie said that name came to symbolize everything she was trying to escape: control, expectation, manipulation, and the idea that her worth was attached to a family brand. It got to the point where every time someone called me Lindsie Chrisley, I'd flinch inside. It was like hearing the name of a ghost I was still haunted by. Dropping the name, she explained, wasn't just a legal formality. It was an exorcism. A turning point in therapy. The real journey began not in front of a camera, but in a therapist's office. Lindsie credits her therapist, a woman named Carla, with guiding her through the decision to shed the name. I remember Carla looking me straight in the eye and asking, "What does Lindsie want?" Not Lindsie Chrisley, just Lindsie, and I didn't know. I didn't even know who I was without that name. So she started writing her name in notebooks as simply Lindsie. No frills, no legacy, no burden. It felt foreign at first, like trying on clothes that didn't fit, she said. But over time, it felt like freedom. The moment everything changed. Lindsie recounted a quiet, personal moment that cemented her decision to go to court and drop Chrisley. I was helping my son, Jackson, with his homework, and he looked up and said, "Mama, why did you never smile when people say your last name?" It gutted me. I didn't want him to grow up thinking his mother was ashamed of who she was, or that a name had the power to steal your joy. So she went to court, alone, no entourage, no press. She signed the paperwork, and when the judge finalized the name change, Lindsie walked out of the courtroom and into the rain with tears on her cheeks. I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was crying because for the first time in years, I felt like me. Todd's reaction. As expected, the decision didn't sit well with her father, Todd Chrisley. According to sources close to the family, Todd was deeply offended and blindsided by Lindsie's choice. He felt like it was a slap in the face, one insider said. He took it as a public declaration that she no longer wanted to be associated with him. Todd, currently serving time in federal prison, reportedly wrote a lengthy letter to Lindsie after hearing the news, asking, "Why would you erase the name that built your life?" In her interview, Lindsie responded quietly, "Because the name that built my life also built my prison." A new chapter for Lindsie. Today, Lindsie is focusing on her podcast, The Southern Tea, which has grown into a safe space for honest conversations and emotional healing. She's also been hinting at a memoir, tentatively titled Unfiltered, Finding Myself After Reality TV, where she plans to detail the highs, lows, and everything in between. As for her relationship with her siblings, it remains complicated. "There's still love there," she said. But love doesn't always mean closeness. Sometimes, loving someone means letting go. Final thoughts. Lindsie's decision to drop Chrisley wasn't about publicity. It wasn't a vendetta. It wasn't rebellion. It was survival. It was a woman choosing herself in a world that kept telling her she belonged to someone else. It was a daughter learning that she didn't have to carry the sins or the name of her father.